Hi, this is Ray Moore. So we're going to start with our math series. You're going to find that I do math backwards. I do it differently than you'll ever do it in school. You've never had a teacher ever teach you this way. And I'm not going to be the guy that's going to say your teacher's doing it wrong. I am going to tell you that the way teachers teach you today has been done for the last 4,000 years. It really hasn't changed. As things went along, they used an abacus, then they used a calculator, now you use your cell phones because you got all the same capability right there. I want to teach you, let's go back a little bit and learn how to do math in our head. Let's have more fun. It's really simple. It's straightforward enough. It's just that we've all been taught to do math the opposite of what I feel is natural. It's just natural to do let your left brain do your math activity, let your right brain be creative. And if that's the case, when we're spending all of our time on the right brain doing math, why don't we also do math the way that we naturally think? It may be different for other parts of the world, but I know in the Western Hemisphere we do things left to right. We read left to right. We usually start a sentence on the left and we write to the right. And we might start a series of things we're going to talk about. We do those from the left to the right. But we find when it comes to mathematics, we do things from the right to the left. So you have to give that a little thought. Why is it that we want to do math problems the opposite? Is it that extraordinarily unique? It's neat because when God gave us the ability to have a left brain to do math and a right brain to be creative or vocal or speech, we have the chance where I can talk to you in a complete sentence without ever pausing to breathe or having to do a lot of ums, and I can still give you the answer to the math problem. So I'm hoping you get excited about this as I do. I don't have any vision about where this may go, but it's a great opportunity. If you like what I have to say today, please get in touch with me. You can always contact me through my website. My corporation is Labatt, LABAWT.com. Here we go. You ready to do some math today? We're going to start with some simple addition. This one series would last 2 more minutes. We're going to talk about math done the way you do it in class, why that's more difficult than it should be, and how if you learn how to do it in your head, it's quick and easy and it just flows right off your tongue. Here we go. We're going to do some things today. I've got a couple math problems here. I don't have a big whiteboard. This is on budget. We're going to start with today is a simple math problem. 12 plus 8 to be 20. What we end up with, what you do in school, clearly, is you take the 8 plus the 2, you get 10, you carry the 1, you end up at 20. Simple enough. This would be done, I'm hoping this gets done in first grade today. I'm really excited that first graders know how to do this. Let's start looking at some other problems. So it gets a little more difficult when you start having 2 numbers at a time, 2 digits. Again, you'll spend most of your time there probably first and even second grade. When we start getting to third grade, we should get a little bit more challenging. And the reason why it's difficult to do math in your head is because you only have 7 or 8 key things you can remember at one time. So if I give you 6 or 7 things to remember for a grocery list, the odds are you're going to remember those. But if I give you 10 or 12, you might forget those unless you come up with another system. And that's fine. There are plenty of those. Go out there and learn those. They do great. The challenge for us is we want to do math. And if I go through a simple math problem that I would still consider pretty easy, you got to realize there's so many things you remembered here. If I'm going to add 47 plus 19, I've got 2 things to remember right away. 47, 19. When I add those together, I add 9 and 7, and I get 16. I've got to remember mathematically the way we do on a paper. I have to remember to put down a 6, and I have to remember to carry a 1. So now, according to how anal we get about this, you may find out that right now I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 things that I'm remembering right now. Then I go back around and say, okay, now 1 plus 4 is 5. That's probably at least the 5th thing I remembered. 5 plus 1 now is 6. Now I have to go back in my head now because I've done the problem from right to left. I have to go because we read the numbers again from left to right. So it turns out the answer is 66 in this case. So in this case, I really can't go wrong. 6 is in the 10s, 6 is in the 1s. But when I start reading numbers left to right, I may have to retranspose what I've done earlier. So keep in mind, this one math problem represents about 7 to 8 cells of your brain that need to remember recent activity. Of course, if before you came to this problem, you're trying to remember some boy's phone number, some girl's phone number, to remember to wash the dishes when you get home, all those things cause another cell just to get lost, and you tell your mom, oh, I forgot, I couldn't possibly wash the dishes because I had to do one math problem in my head. It takes 7 or 8 cells. Use that as an excuse whenever you can. What we want to do in math, and you learn this all the time, I don't know why it's not why you don't go about it a different way. I mean, when you learn to do math, we're talking about 47 to 19. And math done in your classroom is always done right to left. I believe, and I know, that you should do math problems from left to right. That one key feature, if you learn that today, will change your life in mathematics. When you do this problem, you take 47 to 19, and you also learn, if you haven't yet, according to where you are in your skills, you'll learn the difference between most significant and least significant digits. Another challenge I have for why you do problems from the right to the left. Because the numbers on the right are least significant digits in the equation, especially if you start with decimals. And if I've got 114.003, that 003 has almost no value to the ultimate solution to that equation. 4719. If I take the 40, so we break this apart into two problems. If I take the 40 and I add 40 now to the 10 that I have down bottom, life becomes a lot easier. I'm doing it in my brain. I'm doing left to right. 40 plus 10 is 50. Well, that's pretty simple. 50. Now, I'm still going from left to right. I'm thinking 50. I'm already thinking about the tens digit. I'm not spending any time on what's happening back in the ones. But now we need to. So now we go back, now we got a 7 and 9. Well, now my problem just became 50 plus 16. And while you speak, while you actually have a sentence, and if you practice this, and I hope you do, it's part of your homework, is to say, when you're doing the 50 and you realize you're going to be carrying a 1 no matter what, you already can start speaking the word 60, or the number 60. So as you got a 60, then you realize, oh, you know what, I had that 0, and now it's just a 6. I bring the 6 down. So this way, I believe, and I know, going from left to right, taking a 50 and a 16 is so much easier than it is to say 47 plus 19, and how in the world do I write down a 6, carry a 1, remember to add a 1 and a 4, get a 5, add a 5 and a 1, get a 6. Oh yeah, what was the first ones digit I had? Oh my gosh, this drives me crazy. Take this. This is big stuff. We're going to work with these problems more later, but know that you need to take your math problems, you need to break them up, just like you do you have commutative properties in multiplication. When I do division, I'm technically doing multiplication. I just happen to be doing it backwards. It's okay. We're going to start doing problems from the left to the right. Work on all these problems. I don't care what they are. Pick up another one. We're going to do 29. We're going to add that plus, just like the same old ordinary math equations you've ever seen, plus, let's say, 64. Now, when I do that in my head, I've already got the answer when I'm writing it out for you. It's simple enough. But when we do it, we've got 80. We know we're going to be carrying 1 from the ones digits. We've got 90. We know that the 9 and the 4 is going to give us a 3 left over. We've got 93. So don't let me make it too complicated or too simple or too anything. You do it yourself. 29 plus 64, 93. Because we do it left to right. So much easier. Now, I'm not telling you to go to your teacher tomorrow and say, hey, you're doing problems all wrong. Ray Moore over here at this company, Labatt, says you've got to do it left to right. No, what I'm really saying is learn how to do it this way, because this will serve you the rest of your life. Then go around, because your teacher in your school system still expects you to do problems from the right to the left. Continue to do that. Master that. It's a skill to have. But once you have this problem done on paper, going back and checking your answers my way, much, much simpler. Spend time there. I hope we have fun. I hope you like this. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first one. I know I'm going to do a couple more. Get back to me. I need some response from you if you like what I had to offer. Thanks. Have a great day.